In 2008, before Obamacare was instituted, Washington Times online opinion editor Cheryl Chumley's husband, Doug, suffered a massive heart attack that put him in a 10-day coma and ICU. But thanks to around-the-clock care, he came out of it, a fate that Chumley says would never have happened under Obamacare. Here with her story is Washington Times online editor Cheryl Chumley. Cheryl, great to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Ainsley, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So tell us what happened to your husband and why you say if your family was insured under Obamacare, he would not be with us today.
I'll try and be brief, but this was a very long ordeal. In 2008, as you said, I was at work and I got a call from my husband's boss saying that my husband had had a heart attack and had been transported to the hospital. When I went to that hospital, they were in process of airlifting him to another hospital, and I had to go home and get our 4 kids, aged 13, 12, 6, and 1, to meet him there. During the flight, his potassium levels dropped and he went into a coma. And he stayed in that coma for 10 days, during which doctors and nurses, they had 2 teams working round the clock to save his life. His heart couldn't start beating again. He actually had to have a balloon pump inserted to keep the blood flow going, and because of that, he ended up having his leg amputated. There were several health problems after. There was a lot of surgeries after. He came finally out of the coma. No brain damage, all glory to God on that. Perfectly healthy. But the thing is, why I say he would have died if he had been on Obamacare at the time, we had top-notch private insurance provided through our employer, my husband's employer, and the nurse that we met up with a few months later said that had we been on Medicaid or Medicare, some kind of government-run insurance program, day 3, they would have pulled the plug. They would have done a let-and-see type of situation to see what could happen.
Wow, so that actually does happen, and that would have happened under Obamacare, she's saying?
Well, if Obamacare had been in effect at the time, it would have been a government-run program where they picked and chose what care to give him. And she said that there was no way they would have provided the 2 teams of intensive care service around the clock.
Wow. Even though the president at the time, President Obama, was calling these so-called private insurance companies evil. Remember that?
I do remember that, and that's the thing that has really nagged at my husband and I for years since Obamacare has gone into effect. Everything that Obama said was happening at the time didn't actually happen with insurance until the passage of Obamacare. That's when we started getting our high deductibles, our co-pays that were out of the world. We couldn't choose the doctor. We had to switch medical providers. All that stuff happened after the fact.
Wow. So the amputation, the helicopter ride to the hospital, the ambulances, how many days was he in the hospital, did you say?
Oh, he was in the hospital in a coma for 10 days, but then he had about 30 days total in the hospital. Wow. Then he had months of home health care.
And I read you only had to pay $1,200?
$1,200 for the helicopter airlift. It was unbelievable.
So were things better then than they are now for our country?
Oh, definitely better. Definitely better.
Cheryl,
private market.
I'm glad your husband's still with us and there to help you raise those 4 beautiful children. Thank you so much for being with us and telling us your story.
Thanks, Ainsley.
You're welcome. Have a good